شفت شوي عن هذا الرجال، أظن ما أدري من هو تخيل محتواك زفت لدرجة تستخدم اسمي وتاخذ 17,000 مشاهدة.
Do not worry. Lebanon finally has a president after 2 years, and Ethan Klein called me a rat on the latest episode of H3H3. Fires are ravaging Los Angeles while Lonerbox challenges me to a Palestine versus Israel debate. Will I take the bait? That and more on tonight's episode of Do Not Worry. How's it going, folks? I'm your host, Anthony, coming to you from the heart of Lebanon. Joined by Nour, the crew member. How's it going, Nour?
All's good.
You get ready to talk about more Ethan Klein? Excited?
Very excited.
We good to go? Apparently we're rats, or maybe I'm a rat, supposedly. How's it going, everybody? Good to have you guys here. It's a dramatic week here on the podcast. First, before we get going, folks, let me just take a second to thank some brand new patrons who have joined our Patreon family. Abductee patrons Fupa Trupa, Rizala Safi, Cheap Cacti, and Joseph Shada has joined our Patreon because last week we told you guys that we were going to talk about the Joseph Shada documentary on our Patreon as a Patreon bonus. He apparently he's paying me $5 to find out what we said about his documentary. I'm sorry, Joseph. But I encourage everyone to watch Joseph Shada's documentary, The Dahya Santa. And a brand new blonde patron, Alice Akerland. Welcome, Alice. If you guys would like to support us on Patreon, it is the best way to support a small independent Lebanese channel like ours. So check out our Patreon link. Find a tier that's right for you. We appreciate your support. It's the only way to keep the show going. And let me take a second to thank some other amazing patrons, blonde patrons like Ahmad M, Maher Sayes, Tito Khouri on drums, Lucy Mafousi, and Fergus Grant. Superhero patrons like Ghassan Hamoud, Rana F, Celine H, and Jessica Ann. And our got your patrons, Rifat Fakih, Elia Al-Mujaber, Jack Sleeman, Dominic Seltzer, Tamara Isa, and Daniel Nakhle. We love you guys. Thank you so much for the support. Folks, the podcast is officially 4 years old. The first episode came out on January 14th of 2021. We are now 159 with this episode's deep. We've been doing this for 4 years. I've been doing it almost for 1 year alone, and then the interns joined about 3 years ago at this point. It's been, you guys have been here for...
It's been 3 years.
You've been here for a long time. So thank you for being with us for so long. To all the new subscribers, welcome. I know things have been a little bit weird and different over the last few months. But did you think we would make it to 4 years, 159 episodes?
I always had hope.
Really?
Yeah, I know you always didn't, and I always pushed that, we can keep going.
Yeah, I now think we can make it to 200. When we made it to 100, I'm like, we're never going to make it to 200, so nobody hoped for that. But at this point, I'm like, we're only 40 episodes away from 200, so it's pretty doable. Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked we've lasted this long. We've had, so many run-ins with lawsuits, fun dramas with Feddo, with Joy Tassidi.
It's been a ride.
It's been a real ride. Joseph Shada, Joseph Medaib, Birdalicious, all of these great characters that have come into our lives, changed us for the better. No garlic, no onion. And look at us now, 4 years later. Now we're beefing with American podcasters. Isn't that fun? You know
Branching
what I mean?
out.
Zionists, too. Israeli Zionists calling us, rats on the internet. That's fun. And now that 4 years are down for the podcast, what are our plans moving forward? You know what I mean? I definitely want to try to do some live streaming. I talked last week about learning how to use OBS. It's pretty overwhelming. I'm a 34-year-old man learning new software like OBS. Makes me feel very old, but I'm figuring it out. Elijah has already helped me. We're going to do a second session this week, so I'm going to learn how to live stream so that I can at least do some live streams on my own whenever I can, maybe bring a guest on or something. And so that when we're shooting the podcast, all of us together, it might not be live streamed, but at least we're going to shoot it using OBS, which should simplify the editing process, which should make a much quicker turnaround from when we film to when we can release the episodes. It's going to make the system hopefully a lot smoother, but I just have to learn how to use the fucking thing and have OBS open while I'm filming and switching the camera live while we're all talking and stuff. So that's going to be kind of stressful. But I also want to take advantage of the fact that we have a new influx of viewers, and a lot of them from the States and Europe, and maybe gear our content a little bit more towards that audience. I'm not sure how Nour feels about that, but we have been talking about just Lebanese stuff and Lebanese influencers for 4 years at this point. We can afford to change it up a little bit. You know what I mean? It's not that it's getting boring. We're always going to talk about our Joy Tassidis or Joseph Shada. Anytime something happens, we're gonna cover Dr. Food. We're not gonna stop. But I also do want to I see way more opportunities for growth with the international audience than I do see with our own local audience. No offense, guys. Whoever is still left here, we love you guys.
I'm not close to branching out. I just feel like we've been alienating our Lebanese viewers a lot.
We have.
And I feel very bad. And I'm sick of subtitling all the videos.
You're mainly sick of it because of the subtitling, aren't you? Look, and the Ethan Klein stuff has definitely thrown a wrench in like our plans and everything. But it's been exciting too. Like it's opened the door to a new opportunity. I just want to stop talking about Ethan. We're gonna get to that, but like just and get our audience used to what we normally do. But until then. So anyway, speaking of 4 years and our beloved fans who have stuck by us, I got a comment recently by a fan, an ex-patron as well, who I felt like I wanted to share his comment because he thinks that my opinions on like the war and Hezbollah are completely like wrong and misguided. And I figured, you know what, I want to give his comment some attention because I do have some pushback against his comment. So this is from Ali Taha, and he says, "Dear Anthony, I have been watching your podcast since episode 1 and never missed one since, and I've been a patron for a few months. Even the ones that were really hard to watch. It's always tough to see someone you respect externalize a Jungian projection all too publicly. You accuse Ethan of being politically naive and ignorant for misunderstanding and mischaracterizing much of what makes the Israel-Palestine conflict, and I tend to agree with that. But aren't you exhibiting the same ignorance and naivety when you call Hezbollah freedom fighters? Having been born in the south of Lebanon and having lived the first 10 years of my life under semi-occupation, nothing shaped the path my life has taken more than this conflict. I have been displaced 4 times because of war and returning to a partially destroyed home twice. My father was imprisoned for a short time in an Israeli prison camp, then exiled due to his partisan affiliation during the 80s. I'm saying all of that to tell you that you are completely ignorant about the facts relating to this conflict. You don't know Hezbollah, their history, crimes, and evil ideology. You don't understand the destructive project they are a part of, and you surely don't know or didn't know who Lebanon's defense minister is. I'm not shaming you for that. I'm a political researcher, and I still don't know nor care to. But I'm only pointing the hypocrisy of you holding that against Ethan. We are not equals in this conflict, as some of us have been bearing a bigger share of the cost compared to others. You surely felt unsafe while in Jaitewe during the war. Imagine living the war start to finish while bombs get dropped within 90 to 150 mile radius of where you live. I just want to pause right here. I mean, first of all, I think we've always made it very clear, and I've made it very clear that I am pretty far away from like any dangerous areas. I've expressed multiple times on this show and on other shows when I was a guest on Bat Hasbara that I even feel guilty complaining about the war given that I'm in such a safe area. So I've never tried to like sort of make myself seem like I'm suffering more, that my suffering is equal to that of the people living in the south. So saying that I think is extremely unfair. And also just it's kind of dismissive of saying that you surely felt unsafe while in Jaitewe. Well, I was in Jaitewe. I don't live in Jaitewe currently. So the fact that people, like, I know you watch the show and you watch every episode, but you don't know me. You don't know where I live. I guess you don't know everything about me. And I was living in Jaitewe when the August 4th blast happened. And that was one of the most traumatic events of my life. That was extremely scary. I don't know if you were in that area, but like, I don't know why you're making it about like who's suffering more, who's experienced more suffering. I've been very clear that I very much respect all the suffering that the people in the South are going through, and I never encourage. I'm not one to push for war. I never encourage the war. But if the war is happening, if that's something the people of the South wanted to do, then I wasn't gonna stand in their way. But I don't really I completely disagree with the characterization here. And then he says, and as all my fam and friends are abroad, having left Lebanon as a result of its rapid decline on the hands of Iran's proxies, I spent it mostly with my dog. The hardest part was to stay awake to avoid missing an evacuation warning within a close distance. I did miss one. I'm not blowing the horn of victimhood Olympics here. Kind of seems like you are. But I am pointing to the fact that we are unequally affected by this conflict. And the biggest favor you can do to people who are mostly affected by the war is to educate yourself on the topic before saying ridiculous things such as Hezbollah are freedom fighters. I am more than happy to contribute to that upon your solicitation. I mean, again, something I've made very clear also throughout this podcast is that Lebanese people are not a monolith in the way they view Hezbollah. My relationship with Hezbollah is very complex. I just mentioned the August 4th blast. It was partly because Hezbollah had stored ammonium nitrate at the port. I'm very aware of that. We've constantly called out the crimes and things that Hezbollah have done to hurt Lebanon, including assassinations and assassination attempts. But during a war against Israel, who's trying to take over our land and do a whole bunch of shit in the region, yeah, I'm going to stand with the Lebanese resistance. I'm not going to focus on the negative that they've done during the war when their people are dying and the South is being bombed. And there are people who live in the South that are in complete support of Hezbollah. So I can find you Lebanese Shia that live in the south that have a completely different view than you have right now. There's a Lebanese podcast called Haydak Podcast, hosted by someone called Nour. You can go watch that podcast and get a completely different perspective of someone that lives in an area that is affected by the war, who is in full support of the resistance. So again, what you're saying represents you, and I agree, and I'm not trying to take anything away from your experience, and that sounds horrible, having to move and having to lose your home multiple times and having your dad being in an Israeli prison. I don't know any of that. This is also not a political show. I've never pretended to be a political commentator. The only reason we ever started talking about politics was when a war was happening and a genocide was happening against our Palestinian brothers and sisters. And then when the war came to our doorstep and our own people started to get killed. So I felt that it was a responsibility for me to at least raise awareness about what was happening and share a little bit of the everyday perspective that people around me are talking about. So I never pretend to be an expert, nor do I want to be considered a political commentator or expert. So of course, I'm still learning. Most of the research that I do before these podcasts is like just a couple of days before, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more later, pertaining to Lonerbox. But yeah, I mean, what do you think about this comment? Do you agree with what he's saying? Do you think it's fair, unfair?
I know a lot of people who share that exact opinion, actually, but whatever opinion you may have, it doesn't take away from anything that has happened, and people will definitely have 1,000 different opinions on the very, very difficult situation that's been happening. And I also think it's really unfair that for you to receive such message when you're just giving your opinion. You never claim to be anything you're not, so I don't get the point of the message.
No, I mean, and I get maybe someone who's being affected by the situation, hearing someone like me, and I do, again, despite everything that Hezbollah has done, and again, I've been very clear, Hezbollah has done some horrible things. They stand for some things that I do not stand for, but when it comes to war, when it comes to defending Lebanon from an Israeli aggression, from someone that wants to invade some of our land, I am going to stand with the resistance. I'm going to kind of overlook some of the shit that they've done. But do you think I'm not happy that Hezbollah has now lost significant power, like in the Lebanese parliament and stuff like that? Of course I'm happy. But that also doesn't mean that I don't appreciate the sacrifices that they've done in defending Lebanon, and the people of the South, people like you, have done over many years. So I don't think there's any disagreement there. But yeah, I'm not an expert, but I also don't think that everyone agrees with what you're saying. There are people in the South that probably highly disagree with what you're saying right now. So to paint yourself as the one who everyone agrees with, again, that's not accurate. You know what I mean? People feel all sorts of ways about Hezbollah. So, and speaking of me not being a qualified political commentator, so I mean, we've been kind of beefing with Lonerbox, a gentle back and forth.
I wouldn't call it beef.
It's not beef, right? Look, I'm trying to not like the guy. I really just don't care enough to not like him. He seems nice enough. Okay, he seems harmless. So we talked about him. I think last week again. I responded to a video he made about us like a couple of weeks ago. It's all getting lost in the sauce. Lonerbox sent me this tweet. Okay, he said, "Hey, do not worry, pod. Just a heads up." So let me maximize this. So, hey, do not worry, pod, just a heads up. You're always welcome to come on stream and tell me what exactly you think I'm wrong about, because you don't really make much of a case on your streams. I guess backing up your positions is the boring part. And I replied just by saying lol, with a picture of Lonerbox, Destiny, and Elon Levy, who is the personal PR representative for Netanyahu when the Lonerbox and Destiny went to visit Israel, like all Lebanese people do, you know, your yearly visit to Israel. And then Lonerbox, what did I do? Oh yeah, and then I quote tweeted Lonerbox, and I shared that picture again, and I said, here's Lonerbox visiting Israel with Destiny and Elon Levy, blah, blah, blah. But at the bottom, I did say, despite all this, I don't hate him. Can we fix him, folks? Can we fix Lonerbox? I got a lot of comments saying, no, we can't. But I got a lot of these tweets. Let me just pull up a couple of them. Basically asking me to, why don't you debate him? Why are you scared of defending your positions? Debate Lonerbox. So here's, the unknown who, sent a whole bunch of tweets. He says it kind of here's defending Lonerbox's visit to Israel. He says they went to the West Bank and interviewed a whole bunch of Palestinians and gave voices to them, as they did with normal, moderate Israelis and historians on both sides. Funny how disingenuous, scared hacks like you, who can't even speak to Loner, will only mention this pic. Find a pair of balls and actually speak to him, person to person, instead of communicating via pictures from a trip he took, which you appear to know literally nothing about. Grow a spine and talk to man to man, or stick to your little safe space echo chambers. So very chill response. Then I got another comment from Luen, says, so your answer is no. I'm too scared to have a conversation with him. And Stan says, you got to take him up on his offer. You going to take him up on his offer, or just chirp like a clown? So I got a bunch of these, hey, go debate him, be a man and debate him. What do you think? Should I debate Lonerbox on stream about Israel-Palestine?
Definitely not.
Is that what the internet needs? Hey, let me tell you guys why.
I feel like he doesn't want to listen. He's had many opportunities. He just doesn't want to.
I agree with that. And not only that, folks, let me say, I'm not qualified to debate anyone on Israel-Palestine. And guess what? Neither is Lonerbox. Like, you think both of us, like, he's a... Let's just watch this before I get into this. This is his video before when he went on H3. Ethan asked him about his qualifications. Let's see Lonerbox's qualifications very quickly. Let's just remember that.
So when I hear you talk about like Israel, Palestine, or Ukraine, I feel like you have like a really deep understanding of things. I'm curious what your research or like academic background is on this stuff.
I have no academic. So I got a degree in sociology.
Oh.
And then that was in about 2012, 13. And then I completely ditched it and just spent the rest of the decade doing music, like music production,
Very nice.
teaching,
Music.
performance. And then I always had a kind of like secondary interest in politics. Like I would read a lot, or I would just watch podcasts or listen to commentators. And then eventually, after creating, I started reading more. So most of it is just like, if I ever look like I'm really well learned in a particular issue, usually when I was making video essays or streaming, it's usually just because I spent the week before reading as much as I could about it. So it's all just like one thing at a time, you know?
And look, no hate. He's got a sociology degree. I have a marketing degree, okay? He worked in music for 10 years. I work in television, like reality TV and stuff like that. Do you really want a sociology major who was a music professor to debate a marketing major who works in television about Israel and Palestine and the intricacies of Israel and Palestine? In what way are either of us supposed to be qualified to debate this? And like, what are we going to do? Spend 3 days on Wikipedia and see who can read the most Wikipedia articles before we can talk to each other? And whoever manages to remember the most facts from those Wikipedia articles wins the debate? And what happens if I win the debate, or if he wins the debate? Does that mean genocide against Palestinians is justified to his audience? Like, what does that mean? What happens if I win? What happens if he wins? And what do either of us have to gain from this other than like just, you know, having a bullshit conversation? And like, look, again, I'm not qualified. Like, folks, I have a full-time job. I don't know what Lonerbox does. I don't know if he streams all day, if he has a job and he streams in the afternoons for fun. I have no idea what his streaming schedule is. I have a full-time job. I also host this podcast once a week that I have to prep, we record, we have to edit, etc. It takes a couple of days a week to work on this podcast. I train in boxing 3 to 4 times a week, so that takes up a lot of my time. I have some free time, you know, that I have to spend with my girlfriend or people that I love. So where am I going to find the time?
What? You have a life?
I have a life, so where am I going to find the time to all of a sudden put all of that aside and become an expert on Palestine so that I'm qualified enough to get on a podcast and like argue with Lonerbox? And like, look, if I get on a show with him now, and if I get on his stream and ask to debate, he might make me look incompetent because he might know a lot of facts and pull a lot of shit out of his pocket that I could easily refute if I had researched and knew the facts. But because I don't, and I'm going to be there unprepared, I might accidentally make him seem way more qualified and make him look like he's making better points than he would be making were he debating someone that actually knew what they were talking about. So I'm not going to put myself in that position for no reason, and I'm not going to make like supporters of Palestine look bad just so that I don't look like a pussy. So yeah, I'm going to get on your stream when I'm not qualified to do so. Like, I'm just starting right now to actually just the way he said, he researches before making a video and like watches a bunch of videos and does a bit of reading. I've been learning about Palestine as I go. So this whole year, as we've been talking about the genocide and everything, that's when I've been learning before we film, as we film, doing research for the episode, because I want to know the bare minimum before getting on here and sharing my opinion. I only started digging into the Israel-Palestine stuff in 2001 when the Al-Aqsa Mosque stuff happened. That's when I really dug in and really started to learn. Like I'm gonna read my first book on Palestine in a few months. I ordered it, but it's in the States. Like for me to get it, it's gonna take a couple of months. But like I'm just starting my journey of really learning about what's happening there. So for me to pretend like I know enough to get online and like debate someone on Israel-Palestine, and someone like Lonerbox, who very clearly is an Israel defender who sits there and tries to justify Israeli soldiers sniping kids in the head, etc. Like, I got nothing to gain from this, but I'm not going to sit here like, yeah, I'm not qualified to have a debate, but guess what? He's not qualified either, okay? You want to see what a debate looks like between someone who's qualified and not qualified? Not that I'm saying that he's qualified compared to me, but like his best friend, his idol, Destiny, did a debate against Norm Finkelstein, okay? Let's just see how that looked, because that's fun, okay? Let's just watch a little bit of that.
Your name, please?
Stephen Bonnell.
Okay. The idea that Jews would have out of hand rejected any state that had Arabs on it or always had a plan of expulsion is just betrayed by the acceptance of the 47 partition plan.
I don't think you understand politics.
Hamas is guilty of all of these same war crimes, of them failing to take care of the civilian population, of them essentially utilizing human shields to try to fire rockets free from attack. Essentially, yes. As in, I'm just saying that...
I hate these memes, though.
In terms of how international law defines it, not how Amnesty International defines it, but Amnesty International... But they don't actually apply the correct international legal standard.
You don't know what's the correct
I know, absolutely.
International law. You haven't a clue.
I absolutely do.
You haven't a clue.
I absolutely do.
think,
but I'm just saying... I'm just...
You want me to answer, or do you want your motor mouth to go?
Do you like?
You see, the problem, Mr. Morelli, is you don't know the English language. You don't.
I can read from the UN website itself. In regards to the
Great March of Return, they said, while the vast majority of protesters acted in a peaceful manner, during most protests, dozens
I hate these edits.
damage it.
1 hour later.
Land and nature reserves inside Israel and risk the lives of Israeli civilians.
2 days later.
Yeah, but you see,
I know you like them sometimes, only when they agree with you, though.
You got the months wrong.
Oh, I hate
You
that
got the
guy.
months wrong.
You are made of stupid.
She must have been awful incompetent.
This is a horrible edit. I couldn't find another one. But like, this is what a lot of these debate bros do as well. They just throw a lot of facts at you. They speak very fast. It's like the what's the Ben Shapiro method of debating. So, I mean, yeah, I have no interest in debating Lonerbox, folks. Okay, I have no interest in debating anyone on Israel-Palestine as if it needs to be debated. Like, I'm in in Arabic, we say, like, I'm in sakhi fil mawdu'. It's like you're making a mockery out of such an important topic. Like, people getting genocided in a fucking country. I'm going to sit there and fucking debate it on Twitch with Lonerbox as if to give merit to anything that he has to say. So, I mean, those are my thoughts. Do you feel like debating Lonerbox on Twitch? What do you think?
They're out of context info dumps.
So yeah,
I think.
I agree. So yeah, nothing good comes out of those things. But thank you for the invite, Lonerbox. Okay, have a great afternoon, whatever time it is in Scotland right now. Enjoy, my man.
I feel like we can't bring ourselves to hate him because he just looks like your random Lebanese cousin.
Do you think he looks like me? A little bit, maybe. If I shave, there's a little bit.
He looks Lebanese.
He looks familiar. There is some. Yeah, you can't escape your Lebanese side. I know you're kind of ashamed of your Lebanese half or something, but
we're ashamed of it as well.
But you got to embrace it. You embrace your Lebanese half a little bit more, Lonerbox. Okay, less visits to Israel.
Enjoy it,
folks. We finally have a president. Lebanon has a president after 2 years of being without a president. And a lot of you guys might be wondering, our foreign viewers are like, how the fuck does a country operate without a president for 2 years? A good question. I don't really know. Is it the prime minister kind of taking over everything, taking care of everything? So the prime minister has been handling business here while we've been getting bombed and destroyed and everything. The country's been going great. It's been great. But we finally have a president, folks. General Joseph Aoun, another army general with the last name Aoun. Let's see how it goes for us this time, but let's talk about it. Who is he, folks? Should we be happy? Should we be sad? Should we be concerned? I mean, most of the country, most people seem to be happy. Everybody's celebrating, rejoicing, especially after, the war with Israel. This seems to bring a sign of like stability, hope for the future. You know what I mean? We've been kind of directionless, and now, look, we got a president, we got a new prime minister. So Nour is going to take a second to introduce us to our brand new president, El General Joseph Aoun. I didn't mind not having a president because in Lebanon, you're not really allowed to like criticize your government or your president. So anytime you say something against the president, you can like literally be thrown in jail. And not having a president kind of removes that possibility. You know what I mean? There's no one to insult or like to criticize to land you in jail. So now that we have a president, it's just more opportunities for us to say the wrong thing and end up in prison. So General Joseph Aoun, we love you. And you're the greatest president we've ever had. Hearts in the comments for the president. Hearts in the chat for the president. Joseph Aoun, we love you. We do not want to go to prison. That's all I'm saying. So here's a video. Was this produced by Megaphone News? Now, Megaphone News, folks, I'm not going to pretend to be a huge fan. Aren't they funded by George Soros? I love saying that. They actually are funded by George Soros.
I think they are.
It makes me sound like a crazy like Republican. George Soros is funding the left, but like they actually are funded by George Soros. So hey, it's just funny to mention. Let's watch a retrospect on Joseph Aoun, who was the general, who was our military general. So it's basically got a big upgrade to president. Let's watch.
جمعت مسيرة جوزيف عون بالجيش بين الدعم الخارجي الغربي والخليجي وبين الحساسيات المحلية من جهة الممانعة وبسيل. شو الأدوار اللي عطته هالصورة؟ بعد أقل من 2.5 من تعيينه وقعت الأزمة المالية بلبنان، معاشات القطاع العام تدهورت وبطلت الدولة قادرة تصرف على تسليح وتأهيل الجيش. من وقتها بيّن الدعم الخارجي لجوزيف عون من الدول الغربية وخاصة أمريكا بالتسليح والتدريب، من الدول الخليجية وخصوصا قطر والسعودية بالدعم المالي لدفع مساعدات خاصة للعسكريين. بالنسبة لهالدول كان جوزيف عون ضمانة للحفاظ على تماسك المؤسسة العسكرية حتى ما يسقط لبنان كلياً بإيد حزب الله.
And we share the view that the Lebanese armed forces need to maintain their rightful place as the sole provider of security and stability to the Lebanese people.
وبالمقابل كسب عون ثقة هالدول بالتنسيق الأمني المباشر معهم. مثلاً خلال
I just have to remind people that, like, while I would love for the Lebanese military to be the sole defender of Lebanon, please keep in mind that the Lebanese military is not allowed to have like air defense systems or jets, for example. Why is that? So that we can't ever defend ourselves against Israel in any fair capacity. So, like, yeah, this is I love the idea. I love the pipe dream. Like, let's just be defended by the Lebanese military. But the only reason that this man was appointed as president was because he got the okay of the American government, of Western governments, of Israel. So, I mean, I get why everyone else is happy. I'm like, we got a president, I guess. But, like, who appointed this guy? Who approved this guy? And how did this happen so fast right after what just happened with Hezbollah and Israel in the war?
Yeah.
So it just makes you ask some questions. And, you know, and like I always, when people in the West, when Western countries tell Lebanese people that your Lebanese military should be the only way you can defend yourselves, why are you... Like, stop telling us what to do, because you're clearly not letting us actually defend ourselves.
الحرب الإسرائيلية الأخيرة عمل الجيش ترتيبات أمنية بالمطار والمرافق والمعابر الحدودية البرية بالتنسيق مع الجانب الأمريكي لضمان عدم تهريب السلاح منا لحزب الله. هالترتيبات هي اللي ضمنت بالمقابل عدم استهداف هالمرافق العامة من قبل إسرائيل. أما بالداخل فما قدر جوزيف عون يكون محل إجماع. وصل عون لمنصبه بقيادة الجيش سنة 2017 بدعم من التيار، بس باسيل شاف انه عون خذله خلال الثورة بال2019 لما رفض يفتح الطرقات بالقوة، واعتبر باسيل انه هالأداء اجى بتحريض خارجي على العهد، والأهم شاف باسيل بجوزيف عون منافس سياسي مروني محتمل.
أنه بعتبر في مجموعة من الناس اللي اختبرتهم هو.
So this is important. So he used to be allied with the FPM,
Free Patriotic
the Free Patriotic Movement, العونية, but they kind of they had a falling out in 2019 during the October Revolution. So he no longer became, I guess, affiliated with the Aunists. So like Lebanon's Christian sort of population is split. So this is kind of interesting. So the Lebanese forces are kind of happy with this appointment, but the Aunists in Lebanon aren't happy. So part of the Christians are happy, part of the Christians aren't happy. But in general, most people, I would say. But most people are generally happy, I would say.
هو أحدهم. هودي ما راح يكون عندهم يعني مشروع نجاح للبنان. في أسماء بمواقع معينة هي مشروع.
So everything happened really fast in terms of choosing the president, mainly because of America and the Gulf countries, and everyone unanimously agreed on him. And internally, every political party like almost liked him and endorsed him because he's not really politically affiliated with anyone or has been before. So that's just why it just happened so fast, and he got a good amount of votes.
He seemed like a neutral figure. But yeah, some people are saying
neutral enough.
But some people are calling him an unconstitutional president. Where does that come from?
A lot of people are saying he's unconstitutional, which is actually true because in our constitution there's a thing that says that a first rank employee, like an army general, can't run for president if he is still in his position or until 2 years after he's done serving his rule. And
he was still currently acting as the general, the army general.
Yes, so and that's why some of the parliament members were against him because it was unconstitutional. And I think that is because so he doesn't use his position as army general to give bribes and stuff to get presidency.
That makes sense.
Here is the voting process. So as people were voting for him, and they had to vote like a couple times the first time, he didn't get the number of votes that he needed, so they had to do it a second time. Someone voted for Bernie Sanders in the Lebanese parliament, folks. This was the most random thing on the fucking planet. Let's check this out. They're counting the votes.
Bernie Sanders. Who? Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders. Joseph Aoun.
Bernie Sanders. Joseph Aoun.
Do you want to explain how our elections are a shit show?
Please go for it.
Okay, so everyone sits in the parliament. So the head of the parliament usually gives out, and now you can talk, now you can talk. But no, everyone ignores them, and everyone just talks over each other. And they start screaming and shouting, and when they're counting votes, it's a clusterfuck. Everyone is like over the box and opening envelopes and reading names, and it's really a mess, and it's awful.
Imagine like when someone's at a barbecue and you have like 12 dudes standing around a grill for no reason, and you have one person flipping the burgers, but everyone else is like standing around the grill. It's kind of like everyone wants to be around the box and counting votes and just like participating, but not really participating, and just making things worse. And so while this was happening, there was like a massive fight broke out. Like it didn't get to a fist fight, which we've had in our parliament many times. But like you had who's this guy? I can't remember who this guy. Salim Aoun insulting like this.
He's the FPM.
He's an FPM member. Insulting Polaya Oubian, who was part of another political party. They're just going at it. It's been translated by the good folks over at Megaphone. Thank you guys. You spared Nour the whole afternoon. So let's watch this fun, interesting fight.
وحدة بلا طعمة هي اللي بلا طعمة. يا عيب الشوم عليك. روق.
دولة الرئيس هيدا المجلس
جاي تحاضري بالعفة. قلت لك ابو الزنزان. شو ضحكتني عن؟ ايه شو الحكي هذا؟ شفت انه مهذبك تحكي مع يا بلا تهذيب. ليش؟ عمل لي حق تغييري انت.
اسلوب معيب، وبدي اطلب منك تشطب من المحضر كل كلام مهين. أنا حكيت بالسياسة، أنا ما تعرضت لحدا بالشخصي. كل مرة بحكي بالسياسة بيكون الرد بالشخصي وبطريقة منحطة. لا هيدا شيء عيب ويجب أن
أنت المنحطة.
شو عليك يا واطي؟
شو بيك له؟
حقير واطي. مثل طيارك بلا شرف. طيار بلا شرف. كل تاريخك بلا أخلاق. تاريخك بس غلط. أنت أكبر كذاب. أنت أكبر كذاب يجيني على الحياة السياسية. فشرت. أنا بحكي سياسة، أنتم بتردوا بالشخصي. أبدا سياسة. ولا كلمة بالسياسة.
What a clusterfuck.
كله عهر وحقد.
لا. أمك وأختك ما بقبل ينحكى عنهم كلمة. أمك وأختك ما برضى ينحكى عنهم كلمة. لم أتعرض يوما بالشخصي لأحد. عيب هيدا المستوى.
So he literally called her like a whore, like all you do is whore around and shit. Like it got fucking intense. It got fucking crazy. This was very entertaining to watch. I was watching this like live on YouTube, bro. Like
he's awful.
He's a piece of shit. Yeah, that guy's a fucking piece of shit.
She was really just talking, and he just couldn't.
And I don't agree with everything that she has to say. Like a lot of her political stances.
You don't have to.
It's just so disrespectful. Yeah, like it has nothing to do with that. It's just like so disrespectful. And then she's like, your mom and your sister. Like at first she made it seem like she was gonna curse out his mom and his sister, but then she like kind of fixed it.
That was good.
That was a pretty good comeback. So yeah, that was pretty fun. Also, if you guys want to buy merch, 961 News is selling Make Lebanon Great Again hats, and they're sending it on WhatsApp, like a chain messages, like Make Lebanon Great. You get 15% off your hat, folks. Make Lebanon Great Again. Get your hat now, folks. Get it now. We have Walid Fayyad, who's the Lebanese energy minister, eating popcorn out of a bag. Like when was this? Was this outside of the presidential elections?
So I think it was. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I most probably think it was between the two election sessions where they went out for 2 hours. So he went and got popcorn, I think.
Oh my god, the guy's so fucking goofy, dude. I can't believe it, dude. I can't believe this guy's an elected minister.
He doesn't take anything seriously.
But there's a good thread of tweets that I just want to read to you guys by a Lebanese journalist called Habib Battah, who I follow on Instagram and Twitter. He says, pundits and journalists keep claiming a new era for Lebanon. Yet General Aoun is the 4th consecutive former army head to be selected president since the 90s. All had close ties to the U.S. All came to power during periods of great instability. all left no positive impact. Other questions not asked. Why would an army man with zero economic background make a good president for a country in total economic collapse? Has everyone forgotten that most Lebanese lost their life savings in what the World Bank deemed the worst financial crash in history? What power does a Lebanese president even have? Any student of Lebanese politics knows the presidency role is largely a symbolic one, while most power is concentrated in cabinet as per the post-war power-sharing agreements. So what is all this celebration really about? Those who helped install this latest ON, the US and its regional allies, are clearly committed to Israel's violent supremacy and the cover-up of a genocide. How could that be good for the destitute masses of destroyed Lebanon with no access to basic services or living wages? Beyond politics, there are deeper cultural questions to ask about how both local and world media have been almost cheerleading this presidency with little critical thought, in line with the extremely dehumanizing, decontextualized, and unaccountable coverage of Gaza. I think this is an awesome thread. That's exactly how I feel. And that's kind of that's where I'm at. I'm like very uneasy. I see everyone celebrating and being like, yeah, isn't this great? Isn't this hopeful? I'm like, in what way? Like, and this president in many ways is like just like a blank canvas. So that's a good thing because he's pretty much uncorrupted. But it also doesn't give me any hope that he's going to do anything to really change things. I'm hopeful, and I hope, and I'm obviously hoping for the best. And I'm definitely happy, contrary to what some of my people might be watching, that it does seem like Hezbollah's influence on Lebanon is going to decrease. And that's not a bad thing, okay? Politically, socially, I don't mind that at all, okay? Again, I've been very, very clear about what I think Hezbollah's role should be in Lebanon. It is as a resistance. I think they have gone way beyond what they were supposed to do. And I wish that we were able to deal with it locally, internally as Lebanese people and not have Israel come in and like bomb the living shit out of our country to sort the issue out. And it shouldn't have been done the way it was. But anyways, just as a disclaimer, just had to say that. But yeah, I fully agree with Habib. I hope the best for Lebanon, you know what I mean? And that's not all. We have a new prime minister as well.
Yeah, also as Habib said, our presidents usually can't do much.
Yeah,
they don't
that's true.
have much to do, but one of the few things they're tasked with doing is choosing a new PM, which he did nicely maybe, but I don't know how the deals work.
We have a new prime minister called Nour Salam, who is a court judge. He was part of the ICJ.
He was a judge of the International Court.
So he was a judge at the ICJ. So here's a sort of quick facts. Basically comparing our last PM, our ex-PM, Nadim Miati, was like a billionaire who was completely useless for the country and actively hurting it, versus our brand new PM, who is Nour Salam. So the top PM, Nadim Miati, he entered politics thanks to his wealth and close ties with the Assad family, made most of his fortune through dealings in the telecommunications sector, beginning in Lebanon. A complaint was filed against him in France over alleged financial crimes involving Riyad Saleh. He threatened to resign if banking secrecy was lifted on the suspicious activities of Riyad Saleh, so he's been involved in Lebanon's economic collapse. He overlooked the threat against Judge Bitar and accused the investigation judge of populism. Judge Bitar was the one responsible for trying to find out what happened after the August 4th blast. And Nour Salam was the president of the ICJ since February 2024 and a judge since 2018. He served as Lebanon's ambassador to the UN for 10 years, taught international law and international relations at AUB, and he holds a PhD in history and another in political science with 9 published works in law, politics, and history. So a very qualified person. We love that. He stands against Israel. He was part of the ICJ when they filed those court filings against Israel and Netanyahu for war crimes and all that sort of thing. So we like that. We stand that. Again, is it going to make a difference? We hope so. We really do. But again, I'm just suspicious of everything surrounding that. And you have a lot of Lebanese people that are like, I'd rather be under the boot of the Americans than being under the boot of the Iranians. And like, I don't want to be under anyone's boot. That's my ideal. So I'm not that eager to jump in bed with like the Americans and the Israelis and like, let's build a peaceful future together after seeing what the Israelis are fucking doing to Palestine and what they did to Lebanon and the rest of the world.
Yeah, they're just playing with us and we're happy for them choosing our president.
Yeah. So
our lives are really in their hands and we're just being played with.
So he had a speech. We're not going to watch the speech. It's probably kind of boring for you guys.
Yeah.
But, congratulations to Lebanon. A new era. Actually, speaking of Lebanon, this is just super random. This was in Sin el-Fil, which is a little, like a city in Lebanon. This was outside of a public park. Look how fucked is that. Like, racism is alive and well in Lebanon, folks. Don't let anybody tell you differently. It's super fucked up. This is a sign.
Always has been.
This is a sign outside of a public garden that says,
This garden is only for Lebanese people. No foreigners allowed. How fucking
By foreigners, they mean Syrians.
Yeah, they mean Syrians. Maybe they mean like black people. They don't mean white people. If a European person wants to come into the garden,
more than welcome.
more than welcome. They'll roll out the red carpet. But if you look brown, a little too brown, you're not welcome, folks. It's different shades of brown that are welcome. So too brown, nope, not welcome. All right, in case we lost some of our American audience members, David Dobrik, let's bring him back. David Dobrik, folks, you guys know him. You hate him, right? Do people still like David Dobrik?
No.
I know he like ran away to Dubai or like
Not
Saudi.
all of them.
Didn't he like move to Dubai for a while and started making videos there once he kind of got canceled in the States? That's kind of what everyone does. They go to the UAE.
He's been on like a 2-year break.
2-year break.
I think so.
Hiatus. So David Dobrik just recently came back, folks, looking buff as hell. So David Dobrik's insane body transformation. Here he is.
I think this video got recommended to everyone.
Really? YouTube's pushing
It was
this guy?
on my feed, and I've never seen any of his previous videos or vlogs.
Dude, nasty. So yeah, David Dobrik returns to YouTube after 3 years and stuns fans with extreme body transformation. Let's just watch the before and after video because it really is disturbing, and the internet has not been feeling this fucking transformation at all. So let's just watch it. This dude's done a whole bunch of shit. He almost killed his best friend Jeff Wittick, like tore out his. Oh, that is so disturbing, bro.
His smile
His
makes
face,
me
dude,
uneasy.
he looks like a fucking serial killer. Like straight up, he's got serial killer vibes. Like what was the guy from fucking American Psycho? Like literal American Psycho face. But the comments, I'm happy that everyone kind of in the comments agreed. So let's just read a few of these because they're funny. The funniest one that I saw, I don't think it's here, was like, some people just should not be buff. And David Dobrik is just like, there's some of your face, it doesn't work on a buff body. So Alexander says, his head doesn't look like it belongs on his body. Someone says, this literally looks like a deep fake. Is this the AI button? Those look like the abs of a dude that gave their friend brain damage. Bro thinks we forgot what he did. When are you going to go to court? Can't tell if this is real or not. Gotta be AI, bro. What? And I mean, just as a quick reminder, so yeah, he almost killed his friend Jeff Wittick in like a vlog. He almost took his eye out in like with a fucking crane or some shit while they were filming a video. He's been accused of like trying to coerce young girls into sleeping with his friends, and he tried to like film them in secret. All sorts of fucking disturbing shit. Okay, we don't need to get into it, but like, he's a really just troubled dude. He's made some like pretty racist comments. David Dobrik is a piece of shit generally. He
content hungry boy.
He takes advantage of all the people that he worked with in his like vlog squad or whatever. So anyways, that's it. Just a little fun David Dobrik update. It looks fucking disgusting, you know what I mean? Like I'm all for work.
It looks fake as fuck.
I'm all for working out and bettering yourself and feeling better and getting healthier, but like this is not it. David Dobrik should bring the chunk back, my man. That is not working. And get him off YouTube in general. Just like we don't want to see none of that.
Maybe when you're awful, nothing looks good on you.
But David Dobrik's so hot, I guess he's been giving off so much heat that it burned down Los Angeles. Is that a good? That's not a good transition. But folks, so yeah, as you know, obviously, LA was on fucking fire last week. Like crazy fires. Like last I checked, it was like 12,000 homes or buildings completely burned down. It's pretty fucking crazy. Okay, now as people from the Middle East who have seen a lot of destruction. I mean, we've seen a lot of this stuff before. I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna get sympathy and empathy from us, of course. But like, we're not as shocked when we see these sort of before and afters. But yeah. So Los Angeles. Here's just. I think this picture represents what's happening. Here's a Lamborghini in Los Angeles with a bunch of houses completely destroyed. I'm just gonna get you some before and after footage. This is a video from The Guardian of different areas in Los Angeles. So Altadena, before and after. That is pretty fucking crazy. Malibu.
That's crazy.
Damn, yo. That is pretty crazy, dude. And like Los Angeles is one of the most vibrant like places in the world, when it comes to culture and arts and entertainment. Like, half Hollywood is there, and you got all that shit. God damn, bro, that's fucking crazy. And what I'm gonna say right now is very fucked up because
I was gonna say something fucked up.
Jamie Lee Curtis is getting canceled for it, but like this does remind me of like what they do to the Middle East, bro. And I know you're not supposed to point it out because but those are the references that they've created. Anytime you see a destroyed country, all you can think about is the Middle East because that's what the West has done to us, bro. So yeah,
my mind directly went to like, this looks like fucking Gaza. Or, like this looks like. So let's just watch Jamie Lee Curtis saying what we're thinking right now. But she's getting canceled for it on social media. You can't. We're Arabs. We can say it. Leave us alone. Okay. So here's Jamie Lee Curtis.
I'm born and raised in the city of Angels, and the entire city of Angels is on fire everywhere. Everywhere. The entire city of the Pacific Palisades is gone, you guys. I mean, literally my neighborhood, gone. My house tonight is still there, but I live in a different canyon, but the entire Pacific Palisades looks like, you know, unfortunately Gaza or one of these war-torn countries where awful things have happened. So, and there are fires now breaking out everywhere. So it feels totally bizarre to be talking about a movie, and yet
I love how they say like where all these awful things have happened, as if like you have nothing to do with the things that have happened there. The awful things are happening there because your government is actively creating those things there, Jamie Lee Curtis. But everyone's sort of like getting angry at Jamie Lee Curtis for saying it, and I get it. Obviously, like it's insensitive, it's fucked up. Everyone always compares like this looks like a third world country, but like as someone, we've just been witnessing Gaza being literally torn to the ground and being like Lebanese, like have photos of like Lebanese villages. Like look at this. Look at these Lebanese villages before and after photos in Lebanon. This was these are villages on the south, in the south near the border. You can see how like the before up top and the after at the bottom. Israel completely destroyed these villages. They're making sure that like no life can exist. There are no trees. They use white phosphorus, all sorts of shit, explosives.
These are people's houses. They're not military bases.
Yeah.
They're not
farms, like just growing stuff, like
houses,
crops.
People's houses.
Here is, and but like yeah, here are the Palisades in Los Angeles, before and after. So I mean, yeah, it looks like a war-torn country. Here is Heidi Montag, she's an actress. I can't remember, like reality TV star, crying about like her home. Which I mean, again, it's not funny at all. Losing your home sucks, but like she's just like rich and stuff. So I mean, let's just watch.
Really just comes in waves, but I just want to go home. I just want to see all my stuff and sit on my couch and just really want to go home. I'm so homesick.
I really don't want to seem insensitive, but there is something kind of like dystopian of like, she literally said, I just want to go home and see my stuff and like sit on my couch, which is losing your home, losing your stuff, losing your memories, things you've collected is horrible. But I guess as an Arab, watching people literally losing their lives, losing their kids, carrying their like dismembered children after an Israeli like rocket or bomb, it's like, yeah, I mean, you lost your house. It's pretty tragic, but like just comparing it side by side just makes it seem not all that important. Even though I know, folks, I spend most of my time at home. I have shit that I've been collecting for years, like old family photos. I know, and I'm not here to discount anyone's pain. Just us sitting here right now after the war we've been through. I have a hard time feeling bad for Heidi Montag. I've seen other videos of like just regular middle class Americans living in Los Angeles. Broke my fucking heart. Okay, that lady talking about like hosting Christmas, families that have lost everything. Like Heidi Montag, I don't feel too bad for Heidi Montag.
You keep apologizing, but it's not our fault. We're desensitized.
Yeah.
They did this to us.
We're not normal. Yeah, we're not normal people. Like we're not just like Americans. Like we're Arabs. Like at this point, we've seen so much and we've been through so much that like it takes a lot to get us to, I guess. But we are empathizing. But like it's just, yeah, it's kind of hard to care. I mean, look, there are some people that are saying like this is like karma and America like deserved it and this is what you get for supporting the war. And like, look, maybe 1% of me goes like, I mean, they are kind of getting a taste of what they are unleashing on the rest of the world, but like. The problem is it's happening to like innocent fucking people. You know what I mean? Like just people living in their homes, families, middle class families. I don't feel bad for the rich.
I just can't feel bad nor empathize with the rich white billionaires who haven't batted an eye towards us.
For example, James Woods, American actor James Woods, who tweeted this out when when Israel was going in to take out the Palestinians. After October 7th, he tweeted, no ceasefire, no compromise, no forgiveness, hashtag kill them all. Okay, this is James Woods crying about his mansion going up in flames. Fuck you, James Woods. I don't give a fuck you lost your house.
When we couldn't get our garage door open because the wind was blocking, because our door goes up like this, I said, oh my God, we're up in the hills here. And we got to walk out. I'm 77 years old, man. I can't walk up these hills. It's like Mount Everest here. It's like, pretty steep. So, it's just I posted this on X, but Sarah was on with her 8-year-old niece last night. And she came out. I'm sorry.
Oh, what's up, little pussy? You crying?
One day you're swimming in the pool, and the next day it's all gone. But
the pool's gone.
With a little Yeti piggy bank for us to rebuild our house.
Oh, how sweet!
I'm sorry. I'm usually. I thought I would be stronger than this. I thought I'd be stronger than this, but
Use a little James Wood. Okay, nothing but a little I used to like him on Family Guy. When he used to make appearances on Family Guy, I used to like that shit. You, James Woods. Hashtag kill them all, crazy motherfucker. What you guys say?
And they have money to build new houses or to buy new houses.
They do. Something that's kind of funny as well. American rapper Nate Dogg went to like a burned down neighborhood and shot a rap video. So let's just watch a little bit of that.
City on fire, but I still gotta smoke.
I still gotta smoke. City on fire, but I still gotta smoke. Isn't that fucking crazy? But I mean, if you guys think this is unique, this happens in Lebanon all the time, folks. This happens all the time. So when the August 4th blast happened in 2020, we had a famous Egyptian like singer and actor came to Lebanon, shot like a whole PR video right in front of. Here's just a still from it, right in front of the fucking silos that blew up. He's just standing there, did a whole video. We had like a rock band that did like a rock song there. A whole bunch of music videos were filmed there. So people love going to places where tragedy happened and just making some videos. So Nate Dogg, we got you, bro. Shoot that rap video, bro, in the middle of the burned streets of LA. So that's fun. But yeah, crazy, an appearance by a cedar tree made a random appearance. So our boy Hadi shared this. He's like, unrelated, but why the fuck is there a Lebanese cedar tree on the bench in Los Angeles? And here is the bench in question, folks. As the city's burning, look at our beautiful Lebanese flag on the side of that bench. Someone said it was like the Gibran Khalil Gibran bench. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. Maybe there's like a Gibran Khalil Gibran quote on there.
Yeah, and they said it had quotes on it.
Yeah, but pretty crazy. And look, why did this fire happen? Like, there's a bunch of reasons. I'm not an expert, folks, on the situation, but like, it seems that like there's been a drought in LA for a few years, so like there's not a lot of water, so like the ground is pretty dry. There was a lot of winds. LA is pretty prone to wildfires. Apparently, there's like been mismanagement in the city with like water resources, and like a bunch of fucking reservoirs were empty. And people are blaming lesbian firefighters for the fire. That's the funniest one. So like a whole bunch of conditions came together to create this like perfect storm for fire. Now, whether or not they had more water in reservoirs would it have made a difference? Probably. But also I think this was kind of an unavoidable natural disaster. There's like a lot of global warming. The temperatures in Los Angeles like went up by like 1 degree. I don't know when, like recently, a few years ago. So like they're actually living the results of global warming over there. So these fires are one of them. But a very common sort of complaint has been that like female firefighters have been the cause of these fires. So here, for example, is a tweet by Matt Walsh, the one and only Matt Walsh, uber Republican, sort of freak who hates trans women. He's just obsessed with trans people, to be honest with you guys. He tweeted out, "Only men should be firefighters. We all know this. It's a job that men are uniquely qualified to perform. There are few women on the face of the earth who can carry a full-grown man to safety. LA set out to deliberately reduce the number of male firefighters, a suicidal policy. Of course, the assistant fire chief acknowledges that she can't pull a man out of a fire, but says it's okay because it's his fault for being in a fire to begin with. These people are pure abject evil." And the video he's talking about, let's play it.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
I mean, look, that's not a good response. I'll say it. I don't want to ever defend Matt Walsh in my life, but like, yeah, telling someone you shouldn't be, you were at the wrong place at the wrong time. Fires happen, accidents happen, emergencies. You can't be blaming someone about you. Also, there's a shortage of firefighters. Are you going to turn people away just because they're women? Like, take any firefighters you can get. That's sort of my policy. If women want to be firefighters, absolutely. Don't put them in the front lines where they need to pick people up. Leave that job for the men or for whoever can carry someone. But, like, of course, women should be firefighters. Anyone who can fucking carry a hose and put out a fire should help. You know, every extra pair of hands helps in a situation like that. Also, like, American comedian Whitney Cummings and friend of H3 actually, sort of put out a video complaining about lesbians and shit like that, of being on the force.
I do not recall voting on a prop that said we could recruit our fire team off Grindr.
Like everyone, I'm trying to figure out how this happened in California so that I don't say something that's inaccurate. I came across a video of the fire chief, a lesbian. Love it, great. Fan of lesbians, try to be one, didn't take. I don't think I'm a lesbian, I live in Los Angeles and the men are so effeminate that honestly at this point dating a woman is like the straightest thing you can do. So anyway, talking about recruiting more lesbians into the LAFD to be firefighters. I think lesbians can be firefighters. Dope, fine. I'm not thinking about your genitals or your preferences when I need a hero, right? But is that not like, why is it okay? That'd be like a gay man being like, we need more gay men in here. That'd be like me going, we need more hot guys in here to be firefighters. That would be like a dude being like, we just need more hot blondes. That's what we need, and I will not stop until there are more people that I'm attracted to or that are in my dating pool. Like, isn't that essentially just...
Why is she making the assumption that they want to hire more lesbians because they want to date them? They just want more representation. It's like a black person be like, we need more black people in this group so that they're more representative of the local community. It's not because I want to fuck more black people. Fucking Whitney Cummings. What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? That's fucking stupid. But yeah, so there's a lot of that going around right now. Like the fact that there's a lesbian fire chief and there's a bunch of lesbians on the firefighter force. That's what's causing fires. Not global warming. Not the fact that there's like a billionaire couple that owns most of like the public water in like California and they like privatize it and they use it to grow like pistachios or whatever. The Resnick family, or something like that. They own like a huge amount of water. They control a huge amount of water in California. Anyways, it's pretty crazy. And there's such a huge shortage of firefighters that California has been using inmates, literal inmates, prisoners to fight fires. Here's a photo of an inmate. You got both of those photos. I love the fact that you got the second photo as well. You got him on duty and you got him fucking in prison, folks. Sherlock's taking a thirst trap, I guess, in prison. He's got a phone. What kind of prison is that? So anyways, but Hasan Abi, folks, a friend of the show, Hasan Abi. Not really a friend of the show, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying.
Hopefully. Friend
in spirit, folks. He went and covered these firefighters and what they were doing. He got to talk to some of them. His coverage went viral. Let's just watch a couple of these clips.
So he was asking, like, why do we care? Like, how we got involved. And, like, that's a long story, but...
I try to explain to people all the time that are listening that they are closer to where you are, and I am closer to where you are than we are to a guy like Elon Musk or a billionaire or a multi-millionaire, owns multiple condos, properties. Like, obviously sometimes people don't have a good starting position in life, you know what I mean? And they get lost in the system. Like, no one is like truly evil. I mean, okay, there's some motherfuckers who are truly evil. But like child molesters, they're evil. But like, other than that, everybody has a story. Everybody's a normal human being. Yeah. A lot of good people.
I remember.
It's more about maximizing potential.
Breaking the stigma. A long time ago, I saw this visual of.
And this is Carolyn Kwan, by the way. He's joined by Carolyn Kwan. Now, a lot of people are upset at this program because, I mean, essentially California, they're calling it modern slavery in a way. You know what I mean? California in prisons, all these people. California has the largest prison population in America, probably in the world, come to think of it, because America has the highest incarcerated population in the world. They barely pay them, and most of the prisoners are like minorities. They arrest black people at a much higher rate than they do white people.
Of course.
And then they make them work for free or for like pennies to the dollar. So you have these people working as firefighters, risking their lives, earning maybe like $5 to $10 a day. So It's in a way modern slavery. Now the program is great for the prisoners, and they're going to talk about it because like they get to spend time out of prison, they get to learn a new skill, they get to earn a little bit of money. It gives them a skill that they can use once they're out of prison, hopefully find a job, etc. So it's great for them, and I don't want to take that away from them, but they should be paid more if that's what you want to do. You want to use these guys as firefighters, you have to pay them a living wage, because what they're doing right now is essentially slavery. This is very cute. This guy who hasn't seen his daughter in like 11 years used the chance that he had like being on camera with Hasan to say hi to his daughter. Very sweet and heartwarming moment.
I just want to say hello to my daughter out there. I haven't seen her about 11 years. And yeah, I love you, baby. And hopefully I'll be out soon. And yeah, I miss you a lot. And hey, be good out there and get your mom right, okay? Love you.
He's doing the Lord's work. He's protecting people in California, right?
This is fucking awesome, dude. That's very cool. And of course, these people have made mistakes, okay? Like, I'm not telling you to ignore that these guys have done maybe some violent things, but I mean, everyone deserves forgiveness, bro. And if you pay your dues to society, if you're serious about becoming a better person and rehabilitation, fuck, everybody deserves a second chance, bro.
All right.
Dangerous work.
Will you like it?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's almost like a respite from being? Is it better than being in prison or no?
It's way better because I was in a prison yard. I'm seeing guys get stabbed, get jumped, get beat up. The cops treat us like shit. But here, we get better treatment, right? They talk to us like humans. They talk to us like humans. We got a job. We're underpaid, but we got a job.
Yeah.
You feel me? And then the community comes out and shows us all kinds of love. We never received that growing up. We never received that kind of love, that kind of recognition for anything we've done. So now, doing this kind of stuff and all this love coming, that's life-changing for a lot of guys. Because that's all they be needing is a little bit of recognition. With this, it's life-changing, and we get opportunities at careers.
How long was your sentence? You know what I mean?
17 years.
17 years?
Damn.
Yep.
God damn. They're going to shave it off.
Yeah.
They're going to shave it off.
They're going to shave it off. They're shaving some off.
They better shave it off.
But you feel me?
So I mean, that's fantastic.
That's so sweet.
That's very cool and great of Hasan, to do this, and Karine Kwan as well. Very, very good work.
Just one thing related to the point you said before. I think I saw a comment. It said that, now they're working as firefighters, but whenever they get out of prison, they're not allowed to actually get jobs as firefighters.
Yeah, there's certain, I think there's different states, and I'm not sure about that, but I think certain states have rules against that. I'm not sure if California would allow them to become firefighters, but even if they did, it's like firefighter spots are very limited, and it's very hard to be a firefighter. So even if all of these guys like got out of jail tomorrow, and if they were allowed to become firefighters, only I think a small percentage of them would be allowed into the force. But I mean, after these fires, I would be shocked if California doesn't because California also, I mean, one of the reasons this fire happened and was so destructive is because California cut the firefighting budget, and they added a lot of money to the police department, taking money away from the fire department. So if they do not quadruple their fucking fire department budget next year, then there is something seriously wrong with the leadership there. Like, that should be priority number one at this point. After this fire fucking ravaged half the city and destroyed 12,000 homes, they should be way more serious, and they need to train a massive fleet of firefighters. Like, Los Angeles needs to become the state of fucking firefighters, bro. Like, I don't know what they can do, but yeah, I mean, our best wishes for anyone who's in Los Angeles. Like, we know the Arabs are there, like Frogan, Raf, and Capri, like friends of the show. They're in Los Angeles. A lot of our viewers are in Los Angeles. We hope you guys are safe. We hope you guys didn't lose your homes.
Sorry if anyone got affected.
But there's one person that wasn't really impressed with Hasan's work, and who was kind of obsessing about Hasan during the fires, and that is our good friend Ethan Klein at H3H3, folks. As the fires were, and this has become a meme, but we're a little bit late talking about this, but as the fires were ravaging Los Angeles and nearing his home, this is what Ethan Klein put out on his Instagram, unironically, folks. Unironically, he said, "Outside our window, it's close, but we're safe for now, and wind is blowing away from us. Hasan for sure hoping the fire takes out my computer." This man
crazy.
He's staring down flames of fire. His children are at home, maybe crying. His wife is panicking. They're packing shit. Ethan, Daddy, what do we do? Should we go? He's like, 1 minute, kids. I need to make a fucking Hasan joke on my Instagram. Like, what the fuck, Ethan Klein, bro? And what I love, though, I love the memes that came out of that. So
He's obsessed.
someone posted this on Twitter, like right on, like this is literally Ethan Klein right now. Editing his fucking content, Nuke. Like,
I
dude,
love that.
there's a fucking fire. Like the baby's burning. What are you doing, bro? Ethan, my man, priorities, my guy. It's so fucking funny.
The Sims 2.
Yeah, there's also this one right here. Everything's fine. Just watching Hasan videos while everything's burning around him. Pretty fucking funny. And then Carolyn Kwan, the streamer that was with Hasan when they went to meet the incarcerated firefighters, she commented on Ethan's Instagram story on one of her streams, and Ethan sort of reshared it on his Instagram stories with the text that you're going to see. So let's watch it together and read what Ethan said.
I just have to say something. I don't comment on Ethan, okay? But I saw his post where there were fires that were close by his house, and he mentioned like he was still thinking of Hasan. And it honestly made me sad. Like, I'm not trying to do the whole, okay, as somebody who has now had to evacuate, like I'm not trying to like, I don't want to center myself in everything that's happened because there are people who have experienced worse. But truly, as someone who has seen smoke and flames practically in my backyard, the idea of thinking about somebody, the idea of thinking about anything other than a plan of safety is not fathomable.
It's kind of,
and I will just,
it's kind of hilarious. So then he continues. So let me just read what he said here. So before we get to the other half of the video, he said, "Did she forget that Hasan live streamed her evacuation? Get a grip, you dumb fucking gremlin. It's a joke. You think because of one sentence in an Insta story it means I'm not thinking of my family? Also, you're not special. We all have smoke and flames in our backyard. Welcome to LA. You should go back to not commenting on me. Actually, don't comment on anything ever." And then he mentioned that Hasan, while he was streaming, so he got a call from Carolyn, like her partner, her boyfriend, I'm not sure. He went to pick them up from their house.
Her partner.
And he like live streamed the rescue, which I don't think they were expecting. So let's just watch. So Ethan shared that. We can watch it. That was, I'll admit, that was kind of funny. I was watching that video and I was like, did he tell them that he's live streaming or not? So then he said, also, isn't she doing the exact same thing she's accusing me of? Why are you thinking about me at a time like this? With a fire and a genocide happening? How selfish can you be? And here is the second sort of, then he shared the video of Hasan sort of filming them.
How are you guys feeling? Traumatized a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh damn, it's got that nice smoky scent outside.
Are you streaming?
I am, yeah.
You're absolutely insane.
I'm an insane person. Anyway,
it's one of those things where you don't think that it's going to be you, and then it is, right? Like you're paying attention to the news and you're seeing everything, and
I'm
then
sorry.
Suddenly,
I burped.
ew.
Son, we just evacuated that.
Okay, I hate you.
So, like, Hasan's just fucking around with his friends at this point. Like, he just burped. And,
These are literally his friends.
And Ethan is so dramatic. It's like, here is Hasan laughing in her face when she's being vulnerable about evacuating after shoving a camera in her face without permission and during a genocide. Okay, the genocide part is a joke. Wait, what did he say the first time? So when he shared that first video, he said, imagine being mad at me while your friend live streamed the most stressful, traumatizing event of your life without even asking permission or telling you ahead of time during a genocide. But Ethan made one joke on a story. I need to shit and piss myself. Be for real. So anyways, yeah, Ethan kind of lost his mind at this whole thing. But this was an interesting tweet that I found on Twitter. Let's just read that. Not said, I will say this again. This is why Ethan Klein loathes Hasan. Hasan is caring and genuine. Ethan wouldn't set foot out of his basement to even do this. Instead, he prefers to platform gross men who sexually harass his employees. He uses Hasan as a deflection tactic. And she shared a photo of Hasan spending time with the incarcerated firefighters and like the good work that he's doing. So yeah, I mean, a lot of this does probably stem from jealousy and Ethan feeling like inadequate when compared to what Hasan is doing. He's making a real difference on the ground. And all Ethan does is, you know, shit and piss on his fucking podcast.
Whine and complain.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Before we move on to the main topic, which is Ethan Klein calling me a rat on H3H3, we have some breaking news, folks. A ceasefire deal has just been reached in Gaza between, Israel and Hamas, I'm guessing. Nour, could you pull up that post? Breaking news, we don't have a lot of details right now, but this just broke. Israel and Palestine movement Hamas have agreed to a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip, potentially bringing an end to Israel's devastating war in the enclave. The ceasefire will go into effect on Sunday. Qatari Prime Minister Mohammed bin Abdulrahman bin Jassim Al Thani announced the deal on Wednesday during a press conference in Doha. The Qataris, alongside the Egyptians, helped negotiate the agreement with Israel, while the incoming U.S. administration of President-elect Donald Trump applied pressure on the Israelis. Haaretz reported Trump had warned that there would be hell to pay if a deal to release the Israeli captives was not sealed by his inauguration on January 20th. Among those captives are U.S. citizens. Leaked details of the deal highlight a 6-week initial ceasefire phase, which would include the gradual withdrawal of Israeli forces from northern Gaza and the release of captives held by Hamas and other armed groups in exchange for Palestinian prisoners in Israel. The fact that they're going to get some Palestinian prisoners out is pretty cool. Now, obviously, we don't know any details other than what we just read. What are the conditions? We know that Trump had promised to annex the West Bank eventually. So I don't think Trump is any good news for Palestinians or anything like that. But he at least did more than Biden and Harris did over the last fucking 2 years. You know what I mean? So at the very least, there's a ceasefire. Congratulations to the people of Gaza. I don't know what the conditions are, so it's hard to feel happy or hopeful.
Always with the Israelis, always.
Exactly. So yes, it's great that the bombings are going to stop. People are not going to be women and children and just innocent men are not going to be murdered anymore on a daily basis. As of yet, the IDF always kills people, but let's just hope for the best. We'll know more when we hear more, and we'll try to cover it next week.
I just hope the Palestinians feel some rest and some ease of mind for the little time being, and hopefully the occupation will end someday.
It's been a year and a half nonstop of drones, bombings, massacres. I bet it. I hope the kids don't have to listen to fucking drones all fucking day anymore, and what are they gonna do? The people that lost their homes, God be with them. But yeah, congratulations. And speaking of Palestine, and speaking of Ethan Klein earlier and fires and everything, we made a little appearance on Monday's episode of the H3 podcast, which is just crazy. Again, if you guys haven't watched my podcast, the episode number 149, where I went in depth into Ethan Klein, my relationship with the H3 podcast, the fact that this whole podcast exists and is inspired by H3, this podcast would not exist if it weren't for the H3 podcast. I was a massive H3 fan. I watched it for years. I spent thousands of dollars on Teddy Fresh. I have a massive Teddy Fresh collection, which I will be altering hopefully next week on a video. But I have been a massive supporter of the H3 podcast for many years. And yeah, it's just weird to see where the podcast has gone and how my relationship with the podcast has changed. I've gone from loving the show to now being insulted by the show's host, to his thousands and hundreds of thousands of viewers, and being called all sorts of shit like a racist and now a rat apparently. So that's
come full circle.
Let's just start with the clip. Let's not tease you guys anymore. Let's watch Ethan calling me a rat, and then we're gonna pause the video and comment as it unfolds.
No words.
I've seen a bit about this guy. I don't know who he is. He's friends with Frogan.
Okay, first of all, say my name, Ethan Klein. At this point, I know a little bit about him. You know enough to say my name, or at least say the name of the podcast. Who's this guy? He's just friends with Frogan. Come on, put some respect on my name, Ethan Klein.
And I just heard that he's making tons of episodes about me. Imagine how
he almost said obsessed. He almost said, I heard that he's making tons of episodes about me. Ethan Klein, I am no more obsessed with you than you are obsessed with Hasan Piker. There's a fucking fire burning in your backyard and you're out there posting Instagram stories about Hasan Piker. And you have the nerve to say that I am obsessed with you, my man. Come on, the nerve on that man.
How shit your content has to be to use my name and only get 17,000 views. Mika's video was phoned the fuck in, literally, and she got 100,000. How boring and shit must your content be to get 17,000 views after 3 weeks with my name?
How boring. Oh my God, your name only got that. Whose fucking fault is that, Ethan Klein? The first video.
It's not even working.
It's not even working anymore. People are fucking sick of your name, my man. You're losing views. You're losing subscribers. What are you talking about? People are fucking sick of it. I'm trying to fucking milk this, bro. People are fucking tired of you, my man. I don't know what to say. And my first video of you got like over 60,000 views. Why aren't you talking about that one? I made a lot of great arguments. I have a feeling you've watched it at that point, but why are you, and 17K views? I'm sorry, my man. That's not bad at all. Okay, we're a small little podcast in Lebanon and host, like, this is an Arabic speaking country. I host a podcast in English where I talk about like niche TikTokers and shit. 17K views is fucking awesome. Don't let anyone, but he's just doing that to like, try to discourage us from talking more about him. He's trying to make us feel like shit about our views. I'm very happy with 17,000 views. Like, our podcast used to struggle to get to 8 or 9K views. Now we're crossing 10,000 views with like almost no effort. So that's a pretty good number for us. Okay, it's not much for Ethan Klein, who's used to millions of views, even though his podcast has lost 25 to 30% of his viewership. Like, our podcast is going up. You know what I mean? His is going down. Even he's got more views than us now, but like, I'd rather be on an upward trajectory than a downward trajectory like Ethan Klein. So anyways, let's keep watching.
Name and title? Come on, bro. You're better than that. You can do better. Try harder.
I am, Ethan. I am.
That dude's always defending me on Twitter. I don't know a lot about him.
Why? These people are rats.
So AB says, this dude's always defending me on Twitter. I don't know much about him. And Ethan just says, why? Ethan can't believe that someone would defend one of his like crew members. Like, he finds it impossible to believe that we would not like Ethan, but like some of the crew. Ethan, there are fans that have been watching H3 for years that like absolutely hate you. You're probably their least favorite person on the show, but they love the crew. They're watching because they love Dan, or they love Olivia, or they like Zach, or like all sorts of reasons. Like, even our show, there are people that hate me that love Nour. There are people that hate me that love Karine. There are people that hate all of us that love Elijah. They're like, ever since Elijah stopped coming on the show because he's been like very busy, they're like, I don't want to watch the show anymore. There's all sorts of like relationships that people have with the show and different characters of the show. So if someone is a big fan of AB, the first thing you should say isn't like, why? Why would they defend you of all people? Like, because AB's cool, man. I like AB. He's a sweet guy. And I just kind of feel bad for the situation that he's in. So yeah, I'm going to defend him. And don't be so shocked.
He's doing that intentionally. You know that. These people literally, they'll talk shit about me and they'll love bomb you just to fucking make it uncomfortable. It's totally intentional. This guy's a fucking rat, dude.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
A fucking rat.
Yeah,
this guy's going to sit there and tell me that the Arab tier list was not racial at all, and that
He's still talking about the Arab tier list. Ethan, it's been months, my man. It's not, and you see, he's definitely seen my videos, because I talked about that, like, I think in the first video that I made about Ethan, so he must have seen it at this point. Like, I don't know.
Totally lying about it. Like, give me a fucking break, dude. Get a grip, bro. Anyway, congrats on the 17,000. Keep grinding, buddy.
Thank you. Well, speaking of views, okay. Speaking of views, let's analyze this 17K thing. Well, first of all, he called me a rat as an Arab. You know what I mean? It's offensive being called a rat. And now a lot of people on Twitter were being like, "Yo, he called you a rat." That's like a very like Israeli like propaganda thing to do, like calling Arabs rats and dehumanizing Palestinians, which is true. So I just got this blurb from an article. This was from an Israeli historian who said this. It says, Palestinians are presented as barbarian and as primitive and as people who do not understand the laws of war, people that do not make distinctions between civilians and combatants, and so forth. And therefore, they are immoral, while Israel claims that it tries to protect civilians. This is to legitimize war crimes. Statements like Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, Ethan Klein's best friend, saying we are fighting against animals, are clear examples of the strategy to try to legitimize war crimes, said Gordon. Comparisons of Palestinians to rats or snakes on Israeli social media accounts are an effort to dehumanize them and legitimize civilian deaths. And it's not the first time Ethan refers to Palestinians as rats. Here he is talking about Yahya Sinwar, the orchestrator of the October 7 attacks. He calls him a dirty rat, I think. Let's see.
Retaliation, like the events of October 7th.
Rest in peace, motherfucking bitch ass. He's dead. Fuck that guy, Sinwar. Rat face fucking dead. Terrorist bitch.
Today. Rat face. So Ethan has made it a habit of calling Arabs rats. Now, I'm going to give Ethan a little bit of credit here. And I don't think he meant it that way. I shouldn't be charitable to Ethan at all, but I'm going to choose to be charitable. I think he means rats as like, I'm trying to be sneaky. I'm trying to like turn AB against Ethan. I think that's what he means, but he's also so used to being anti-Arab at this point that he can't even control it. I think it just comes out of him, calling Arabs rats. So thank you, Ethan, but I'm going to choose to believe that you meant it as, I'm just trying to be a sneaky little bastard. But anyways, Ethan literally called me a rat on his show, folks. But I'm happy. He thinks I'm afraid. You think I'm going to cower in fear? Ethan, I'm waiting for that like content nuke. And speaking of views, okay, Ethan is saying that like my views are shit. First of all, Ethan Klein recently invited Lonerbox. Remember Lonerbox invited him on his show podcast. Ethan's a big fan of Lonerbox, respects him. Let's see what Lonerbox is doing view-wise. And if Ethan would criticize Lonerbox's views. His last few videos, 8K views, 10K views, 29K views, 11K views. Would Ethan tell Lonerbox, who he agrees with on Israel and Palestine, would he make fun of his views? Probably not. He'd think, oh, these are very respectable views, even though Lonerbox has twice the subscribers that I do. Now, I'm not here to shit on Lonerbox's views. These are respectable views. He's got videos with 30,000, 40,000, etc. But like his last 2 weeks of content, 11,000 views on average. So why are you making fun of my shit, Ethan? Also, just as a quick note, like getting views on YouTube is very hard. Okay, I've been at this for 4 years now. So if you're watching this and you have a YouTube channel and you're at 500 views, 1,000 views, don't listen to the shit Ethan is saying. Don't try it. Like, I'm not letting him bring me down by making fun of my views. If you guys are getting 50 fucking views, keep going, keep working until you find your audience. Don't let him discourage you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very encouraged by how our channel is growing. We had 12,000 subscribers just a few months ago. We're at 22,000. Here's a video of Ethan crying about his monetization dropping in the month of November. He's making fun of my views. Here he is literally crying about their fucking monetization.
That bad. Well, it went from, I mean, it dropped by like, what would that be? Like 20%, 15%?
Do you want to know the actual percent? Because I'm looking at it right now.
Well, hold on. This is what I saw. Oh. Yeah, tell me the percent. You can tell me the percent. I don't want to say the number, but I want to say, you can say the percent.
Okay, it's 9%.
That's what I said, 10%.
You said 20.
Oh. 10%'s a lot. That's a lot of revenue.
It's significant. I'm not saying it's not significant.
But like, I don't understand what's going on because it's November, which is usually your highest revenue month. And this was like our lowest revenue month of the year.
Fun fact, Ethan, November was our highest revenue month of 2024. So you see, your podcast is going down, our podcast is going up, but you're out here making fun of my channel and my views. So, I mean, I'd rather, even though if my monetization doesn't touch your monetization, the fact that ours is going up and it's on an upward trajectory, I think that's a good thing, motherfucker. And the fact that you had your shittiest month in November says a lot about your content and where you're at right now, relationship-wise, with your audience.
Makes me think like January is going to be extraordinarily cursed.
Yeah.
Which has me a little worried.
No.
Yeah.
We've been in worse spots. That's my attitude about it.
Yeah, we have been. Although when we were in worse, listen, we're not in financial.
You're making fun of my views. You already talking about your financial troubles, Ethan, like a pathetic little bastard. We have another video where he's literally begging people to become members and like to buy memberships. Listen, does this sound like someone who's feeling good about his views? Do I beg you guys to join our Patreon? Listen to this fucking pathetic motherfucker.
Thank you to our members. Thank you to our members so very much. I was explaining on Monday that it's no surprise, or it's no secret, that the show has taken a bit of a downswing on viewership, and therefore ad revenue and memberships, because I'm stand on my business.
You certainly do.
And you know what I mean? And it was not an unexpected thing to happen. I expected it as a result of my decisions to distance myself from Hasan and his, in my opinion, more radical community than I'm comfortable with. And I want to say that thank you to everyone who continues to support us with the memberships. And if you are in a position to support us, if you can afford the $5 a month or whatever.
This dude just bought a like multi-$1,000 Rolex. He's like, if you can afford to give us $5 a month, please, like what? And he's making fun of my views, motherfucker.
For a cost, then I would greatly appreciate that at this time. However, we're fine. We're gonna be fine, and I'm just happy you're here.
We're gonna make it, baby.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
And he makes fun of Frogan and he calls her a panhandler when she asks for like fucking Twitch subscriptions. He's out here being like, please, if you can afford to send us $5, please send us the $5. Like, Ethan, come on, man. Come on. What the fuck, my man? Here is their channel. H3 Podcast used to be at 3 million subscribers, and they've been losing subscribers every month. Here they are at 2.78 million subscribers, so they've lost over 20,000 subscribers in the last couple of years. Here is their social blade. I just took this screenshot today. They're losing an average of 10,000 subscribers a month. Here they are. So like, again, our channel is growing. Sure, we're at only 22,000 subs. It's not 2.7 million subs, but I'd rather be on a ship that's not sinking. The H3 ship right now, it's full of holes. You got the crew carrying buckets trying to get the water out of the ship. They're trying to save it. We're on a little humble ship, but guess what? It's got no holes in it. We're going with the tide. We're floating. We're good to go, Ethan. We're good to go. I ain't worried. And thank you. All of this is thanks to you, my man. Seriously, like you've been doing so much work and sending your audience over to us. So I have you to thank, my man. You and Ela and all of your wonderful Zionist comments. And let me look at just my views with the videos regarding Ethan that I did. So the first video that I did, 149, which I recommend you all watch if you haven't seen it. This is where I go like fully in depth and I share exactly why I stopped watching H3. I talk about how much of a fan I was of the podcast, etc. Even the logo of our show is inspired by a Teddy Fresh shirt. So spare me, Ethan. Just look up my name, Anthony Sargon, in the Teddy Fresh database and look at how much money I've spent on your wife's brand, my guy. Okay? So my first video on Ethan got 62,000 views. I made a couple others because he reacted to some footage of me on the Arabs podcast, called me a racist. So the next two videos got like 29 and 27K views. I think that's great, you know what I mean? Then I tried to wean off, because I knew that my audience was kind of sick of Ethan Klein. Ethan, my Lebanese audience doesn't even know who the fuck you are, my man, okay? The only reason I'm putting you in my thumbnails is to attract American and Western audiences. If I stop talking about you tomorrow, my show is just fine. I'm going to go back to talking about the things that we normally talk about and get the views we regularly get. So this is just a fun little bonus for me. And I just wanted to comment on AB. So AB clearly in the video was like kind of like tried to, I don't know if he tried to defend me, but it was like, I mean, this guy defends me on Twitter, but like, I don't really know.
I don't think he did. I think he was trying to like throw me under the bus.
He kind of threw me under the bus. AB, I'm very disappointed. I put out a tweet. I'm like, AB, how could you do this to me, my man? How could you do this, AB? So look, a couple of months ago, I put out a tweet that said, proud of you, Starkiller. And he replied with a heart, and I replied with a crown, and then we followed each other on Twitter. Okay, that was in response to when Lonerbox was invited on H3. AB and Lena just sat there and like kind of like countered everything that Lonerbox was saying, and they stood up for Palestine. And I was like, you know what? It's refreshing to see. I'm happy to see AB stand up to Lonerbox and to Ethan to some degree. So I put out that tweet. AB was happy, followed me. I'm like, great. But Ethan's like, Anthony's trying to be a rat, and he's trying to. Would a rat say this, Ethan? I literally told AB, bro, unfollow me because I don't want to get you in trouble with Ethan. Okay? Would a rat who wants to get in between you guys say this? There's a lot of Lonerbox stuff, but I think it's important for us to watch, so be patient with us. And I have to say, I put out a tweet out, so again, like I said, AB really like went out of his way to like sort of try to contradict Lonerbox, and I was very happy to see it. I couldn't resist. I put out a tweet. I said, proud of you, Starkiller, on Twitter. AB actually responded with a fucking heart, bro, which was really nice, so gave him a little crown there. But even more surprising, folks, I got a follow on Twitter from the man himself. There it is, AB Starkiller following me. Now, I don't know if AB has seen any of my other videos. If he scrolls down just a little bit on Twitter, he'll see all the stuff I've had to say about Ethan. So I'm gonna assume AB has not seen that stuff, because Ethan would probably not be happy if AB was following me. AB, for your sake, I would say maybe unfollow me just to not get in trouble with Ethan. But I appreciate you, my man. Thank you for the follow. We love you, man. We care about you. We just don't want you to be in an unsafe, shitty environment that's going to kind of drive you crazy. But I really appreciate him just dropping that heart. And I wanted, because I've criticized AB publicly on this podcast and on Twitter, and I wanted to let him know, and Lena and Olivia, let them know, we see you, we hear you, we know you guys aren't cool with that shit. So props. And I should have mentioned Lena here too, because she also was not letting Lonerbox go. So I'm literally telling AB, like, bro, unfollow me if you think this is going to get you in trouble or anything like that. With Ethan, I don't want to get in the way. But apparently I'm a rat. You know what I mean? And I've even defended AB on Twitter when he was beefing with Destiny, and Destiny was accusing AB of like lying about one of like Destiny fans pretending to be AB on the Snark subreddit, etc. So Destiny was actually being a rat in that situation and trying to get in between AB, and he's like calling AB a liar and all that sort of shit. And I was defending AB on Twitter. So AB, I mean, look, you can unfollow me if you want right now, man. Like, I don't care anymore, but like, just I defended you, my man. That's because I care about you and I care about Lena, and I see you guys as Lebanese, and you're on that show where obviously the hosts are not sympathetic or empathetic to what's happening to you guys and your families in Lebanon and Palestine and all of that. So I figured I would defend you guys. But I mean, and one of the topics that I wanted to talk about this week was, is the crew complicit in Ethan's crash out? Like, should we blame the crew for standing by Ethan, or should we expect them to stand up to him? And I've been very critical of the H3 crew on some previous episodes. Like, I've gone back and forth. Sometimes I'm like, we should leave them alone. It's not their fault. And sometimes I've been like, fuck them. Their crew should have done this or should have said that. I've been watching a lot of Vanguard recently and their coverage of the TYT crash out and Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian, and they said something that kind of gave me perspective on the H3 crew. They're like, they don't blame any of the staff at TYT because they understand, like, they're there no matter what Anna Kasparian or Cenk are doing. The employees at TYT still need to earn their paycheck, so they're under Cenk's boot essentially, so they have to keep working. I don't expect anyone at H3 to like give up a fucking full-time salary. They're probably paid pretty well, you know what I mean? Living in Los Angeles is not cheap. So for them to stand up for something like this, but to give everything up, and they've all known Ethan for 45 years, so it's not their job to put Ethan in their place. Would I have liked some more pushback? Of course. Like, for example, you've worked here for 3 years, but the difference is I don't pay you like a living wage. The salary you get paid here is like you pay your rent. It's a little bit extra money. So like, if you were to leave this podcast, it wouldn't destroy your life, I would imagine. So you have no problem just shitting on me or telling me that you disagree with my... And look, we have a lot of disagreements with the crew. Like, there's some topics that I want to talk about that they don't want to talk about. There are takes that I share on here that they're like, that's kind of a bad take. I end up like either deleting them or like editing the shit out of them. Like, shit happens, but I listen to my crew and I want them to be comfortable in telling me what they feel. The fact that Ethan's crew doesn't seem like comfortable to just talk about this stuff just seems a little bit... I don't know, shitty. So I really don't want to be someone that's blaming the crew for something that their employer is doing. And I understand, like, Dan was like, he's getting married soon, and like they all need their salaries. Like AB and Lena are like buying a house or whatever the fuck, you know. This is sounding super parasocial and shit. But I mean, for example, they were bullying the shit out of Mika. Like, for example, Mika's Rhetoric, who made the video about them. Like, remember again how they were calling her a mouth breather? Just like, this is the whole crew participating. So at this point, I just don't want to, I'm not going to blame them for anything, but I'm not going to extend any sympathy towards them anymore.
I'm going to film myself gape mouth typing on my keyboard like a fucking buffoon.
That's the nuance, Ethan.
Fucking mouth breathing into the mic. What the hell, dude? I'm going to look up this clip right now.
Like Dan, like, dude, AB, all of them just laughing at this like sweet girl, man, who just made a video. Like, she wasn't really, she wasn't a little over her head. Like, you know what I mean? And like, and like Ethan's a 39-year-old attacking, like, she's like in her early 20s or something. You got an almost 40-year-old man with kids just completely bullying this girl on the internet with his crew, and they're all just like laughing along. So yeah, I'm sorry. I have lost a lot of respect for the interns, for the crew, and I'm just not going to go after them. Like, here they are calling Mika dumb. Like, that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, check.
And that's not my criticism.
Totally.
She's very dumb, and she's nuanced, and she's a horrible at doing these.
Dan in the back.
She looks great. She looks great. Love her glasses too.
Yeah. Dan saying she's a terrible communicator. Here's another video of Ethan kind of like mocking her looks, and AB kind of joining in a little bit.
She's a snarker.
I've been reading, like, there was a post about being a Fallen fan, which is what
on snark she's talking about. It's awesome.
I always love to put a face to the snarkers.
Well, there you go. It's pretty much exactly what. It's pretty much. Yep. That's about it.
Ethan Klein refers to people who no longer...
They're making fun of like every target that Ethan sort of takes on. And like, you guys have done that too. If I make enemies with someone, you guys will like kind of support me, but like not blindly. You guys have never supported me against someone when it didn't make sense. If I'm beefing with someone and you guys disagree, you'll let me know, and you'll kind of...
We always have our opinions.
Yeah, and they stand up for what they believe in. Like with Ethan, for some reason, when it comes to the Hasan thing, everyone needs to just shut up and like agree with Ethan. And I mean, you would have assumed that Dan would have agreed with Hasan. You would assume that AB agrees with Hasan, but they're all just kind of sitting there and taking it because it's probably not the kind of work environment where they're encouraged to really share how they feel. Or if they do, it's going to make things very awkward. So, and I mean, here's just some examples of why I think Ethan hates me personally at this point. So I made this video that went kind of viral on Twitter of insulting Ethan when he got Hasan Nasrallah's name wrong.
You know, Hasan glazing up Hasan Nasrallah. He doesn't deserve me saying his real name, his name fully. He doesn't have.
Hasan Nasrallah فشل على رقبتك يا اخو شموتك انت ومرتك صهيونية يا the leader of a fucking resistance force that fucking fought you guys single-handedly, you motherfucking genocidal fucks. So yeah, I mean, that went viral. I'm pretty sure Ethan saw that at some point. He doesn't like that. He also maybe doesn't love the fact that I am the reason why this Yoav Galan clip went viral. shared it on Twitter, shared it everywhere, to be honest.
Him and Bibi like talk a lot, and Bibi's become a...
Remember that?
Yeah, Bibi's his guy. They're like homies. Bibi's celebrating last night.
Just the other day, Bibi fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about, and he fired him because they had a disagreement, and that's like so Trump coded.
Well, he was like a moderating voice.
Moderating, yeah.
Don't you miss her?
I miss Hila. Yeah, and Hila had to step away from the podcast because that clip went viral and like they had to explain themselves and all that sort of shit. So again, Ethan probably hates me because of that. And here he is reacting to me when I was on Arabs, calling me a racist because I said that Israelis like to steal Arabic food and they like to claim Middle Eastern food as their own.
My sister love it.
Yeah, that's the most offensive part. Like that's what triggers like Lebanese people the most on like Twitter is when we see like an Israeli plate of hummus or something, and nothing drives us more because like we're very proud of our food. You're talking about like culture. Like I think in terms of culture, white people have like the worst cuisines.
Oh, okay, so these people are not white.
They think that all Israeli people are white. I don't understand.
Capri, shout out Capri.
I don't know how to tell people this, like that they listen. 60% of the Jews living in Israel are from the Middle East. They are from these fucking countries. They're from Lebanon. They're from Egypt. They're from Yemen. They're from Iraq.
Again, Ethan, so if they're Arabs living in Israel making Arabic food, it's Arabic food. It's not Israeli food. We're not going to go over that anyway. We've been over this millions of times. I just wanted to remind you guys
You're boring, guys.
my history with Ethan. What is just absurd about this is, like I said, Ethan inspired this whole podcast. He inspired me to start this 4 years ago. I was a massive fan. So just to be here watching him just shitting on me on his show, very funny. Also, like I have a full-time job. No one at my job knows what's happening. Like, you know what I mean? And I live in Lebanon, so no one knows who Ethan Klein is. No one gives a fuck. So like I'm like on work calls during the day, like pretending like everything's okay. And like I'm out here beefing with one of the biggest podcasters in the world just casually. And I can't really talk about it or relate to anyone with it while on the show. And like Ethan was probably mentioned me on his show and like talked about the views to like try to discourage me or other people from making more videos about him and like, you know, like to try to scare us off. Ethan, you can't scare me. There's nothing you can do that could affect me. I live in Lebanon. My audience has nothing to do with your audience. Most of my Lebanese audience has no idea who the fuck you are and they don't care. So as soon as I stop talking about you, I can just go back to making the content I normally make. You can't get me fired. There's nothing you can do to scare me. I don't care, my man. Okay, I'm not afraid of you. In fact, I really appreciate all the publicity that you've given us. If you talk about us in your content nuke that we're all anxiously awaiting, not really, but go for it, my man. You've helped this channel grow a lot, so I appreciate you. Thank you. You had your lowest monetization month in November. We had our highest, and that is all thanks to you. And speaking of the content nuke, at some point I was starting to feel like it was maybe like it's not real. Like, is Ethan just lying about it at this point? Because like, let's just watch it. It seems like but I think it is real. Let's see.
And an update on my personal life. I have been continuing to spend every available minute I have on this video. It is now over 1 hour runtime, completely done. And I'm now at a crossroads where I'm wondering, do I just put out, there's 2 chapters. I have both filmed, but only the first chapter edited. Do I just put out the first chapter and tease the second one, or do I wait several more weeks probably, and do it all together at once?
And like, he's milking this thing because that's all he has left. Like he keeps milking and like, Ethan, I want to stop talking about you, my man. I'm more than happy to stop making videos about you. I'm just taking advantage of the views, but views have been tanking with your name, so I might have to stop for my own channel's benefit to stop putting you in the thumbnails because you've been hurting my views actively now. The last couple of videos with you on the thumbnail has not helped. People are sick of you, my man, okay? But I think he's delaying this content nuke because he's got nothing, because he's keeping us watching. He's keeping the haters. We're all like waiting for any nugget about this content nuke. As soon as he drops it, I have no reason to ever pay attention to H3 ever again. Like that's it. The content nuke is out. I'll watch it. We point and laugh at Ethan Klein, and then he rides off into the sunset forever, and I'll have no reason to ever talk about H3 ever again. I have no interest in covering every H3 drama. I'll be honest with you guys, his drama with like Aubrey, I don't care about that.
We're waiting. My thing is, I do think the second part is important, but I don't want to turn this into like, I just keep posting. Like, I don't even want to post on that channel. This is just a pop out. Right, Nate?
Oh, yeah. Pop
Just-
out and show them.
It's just a pop out.
It's just a pop out. I see.
That's it.
When he makes comments like this, it makes me feel like he's not being serious. Like he's just like, it would be the actual funny thing, like an actual, and I would give Ethan that, is if he's trolling and pretending that there's a content nuke and everyone's like, where's the nuke? Where's the video? Where's the video? And he's just like fucking with us and there's no actual video. That would be something funny. Like I would actually give Ethan props if he did that. But I do think he is serious. I'm just not sure anymore. It's just taking so fucking long. Ethan, we all want to get over this. We all want to move on to other things, okay? And I'm only covering Ethan because of the Palestine, Israel, Zionist stuff. I'm not going to cover all Ethan drama, like his current drama with like Aubrey. I don't care about that, okay? I think both of them have done like stupid shit. I don't trust Aubrey in this situation. I don't trust Ethan. I don't care about this stuff. I just want to talk about the Zionist stuff. That's what really matters to me. So I just want to be done with this content nuke. I wanted to talk about Ethan, to defend Frogan, to defend the Arabs, to talk about what was happening in Palestine and in Lebanon, and to sort of clarify a lot of the wrong things that he was saying and a lot of the Zionist propaganda that he was saying. My job and my life is not going to be covering Ethan drama forever. We're almost done. Ethan, drop the fucking nuke, my man, and say my name in the nuke, okay? Mention the podcast name. Don't just call some guy or Frogan's friend, okay? The Do Not Worry podcast, my man, okay? And Fallen H3 fans, fellow Fallen H3 fans, welcome to the family. Join us. We talk about a lot of random Lebanese stuff, but you're welcome here. We're going to be talking about a lot more American stuff. David Dobrik.
Subtitle everything for
We're
you.
subtitling shit, okay? So it's going to be good. But anyways, we've talked a lot about this. Let's just close out with our Houthi kid friend hitting Ethan Klein with a slipper.
Ethan Klein, Ethan Klein, Ethan Klein, Ethan Klein, Ethan Klein, Ethan Klein, Ethan Klein.
Thank you, Tim Houthi Chalamet. And now because we played that video, Ethan is going to call us terrorist sympathizers. So there we go. Anyways, Ethan, thank you for inspiring this podcast. I wouldn't be here without you, my man. Thank you for helping our channel grow in the last few months. Driving your audience away, repelling your audience, turning them off so badly that they're desperately looking for other content, that they're watching this shitty little... And by the way, if Ethan thinks my show is so bad, and if my content is so boring, I learned from the best, my man. I learned from you. This show's inspired by H3, so if you think this show fucking sucks, says a lot about what you think about your own fucking show and the shit you make on a daily basis, my man, okay? Literally, you are my content daddy. You inspired all of this, so if you're not proud of this, if you're ashamed of this podcast... I'm sorry. I learned from you, my man. So if you don't like this, give me some tips. Hey, who knows? But anyways, folks, there's a lot of topics that we wanted to talk about today that we are not going to get time to get to because I had to protect my name. Ethan Klein calling me a rat? You racist f***. What the hell, Ethan Klein? Anyways, folks, we were going to look at Ila's art, but I'm not going to make fun of her art. Fuck it. We don't have time for that.
Can I see her art?
You want to see her art? We're not going to show it on cam. We can show you. You want to see some of her art?
We can show it, yeah.
We can see some of her art. Here is... You want to see some of her art from the fires? Look at that.
She's done fire art.
Yeah. She's doing Los Angeles fire art. Here's a man saving a rabbit. Look at that art. Isn't that beautiful? Hila Klein art. Here's a plane. The plane's not bad. I'll give her that. The plane's not bad. There's thank you firefighters. Someone on H3 Snark made a parody of the firefighter one. It's really funny. It says, thank you, H3 Snark. Like, it's like a 2-year-old fucking drew this. Ela, come on. I spent so much money on Teddy Fresh. Joke's on me, folks. I should be ashamed of myself. Next week, we're going to try to have a seamstress on the show to alter Teddy Fresh clothing while we record the podcast. We're going to remove Teddy Fresh patches, replace them. Was supposed to be on this week. She canceled because she got sick. So if she can't make it next week, I have a replacement in mind. Let's see what we can do. I'm working on it, folks. Ela, beautiful art. Beautiful art.
Keep going.
She has more. You want to see some of her IDF art that she drew while she was in the IDF? Look at this boom explosion. This is like a nuclear mushroom. A little like tank. Look how fucking tacky this is. He's got like a Bratz doll on like a tank.
These are the wings.
What the fuck? You know what I mean? And then like another little collage of weaponry mixed with some more...
Yeah, very interesting art. I know she's good, but it's very interesting.
Beautiful art. I wouldn't say she's good. But anyways, folks, that was our episode. Let us know. Do you agree with Ethan Klein in the comments? Am I a rat? Do you agree that did AB completely shun me? I felt like Jesus when he was denied, like shunned by his apostles.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't know why he's following me.
When they deny Jesus Christ, AB, you denying me? I don't know why he's defending me on Twitter. Well, God forbid someone fucking defends you, bro. Jesus Christ.
I said it once and I'll say it again. I never really liked AB to begin with.
I mean, he's nice. He just doesn't have much. Like he's just
Felt fake.
They're a bit like spineless at this point. That's all I'll say. But like AB,
Spineless.
what the fuck, bro? What the fuck, man? I defend you, and this is the thanks I get. You know, no thanks, essentially.
No thanks.
No thanks.
And Ethan Klein, you're boring.
You're boring. We're done. Please just release the nuke, my man. We all want to move on with our lives, okay? And thank you for the publicity. Again, folks, let me just say thank you to our brand new patrons, Fupa Trupa, Rizal Safi, Cheap Cacti, Joseph Shada, and Alice Akerland. We thank you guys so much. We love you. Thank you for supporting our channel. Thank you for supporting the show. If you want to support us on Patreon, please consider doing so. It is the best way to support a small Lebanese independent channel like this one. Let us fight the good fight against mainstream media. H3, folks. Calling me a fucking rat. What the fuck, Ethan? Jesus Christ, folks. But together, hand in hand, we can fight evil. And by the way, Lessico still has not replaced my toilet seat. Do not buy any toilet seats or any ceramics from Lessico, Lebanon. Okay, find alternatives like Juravi. We're going to find alternatives.
Boycott Lessico.
Boycott Lessico. Eat tease up tease. Someone suggested I say tease up tease in the comments. Tease up tease. Together we can defeat Lessico. And as always, folks, do not worry.